Yo, yo, what's going on? This is another episode of The Rock Never Stops. I'm Ross coming to you with another video in our series, My Favorite Thing About Your Favorite Team, um, for the 2021-22 NBA season. Um, Today we're going to be doing the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics made a lot of moves. Most of which I feel like went under the radar. But I think they had one of the best off seasons of any team in the NBA. I'm gonna be straight up with you. Straight up with you. I think Boston is gonna be real next season. So this is my favorite thing about your favorite team in the NBA, Boston Celtics edition. Um, Let me just start with it. I struggled to choose between two things about the Boston Celtics. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go with Brad Stevens ushering out Danny Ainge, bringing in a team first focus, uh, being a front office person that everyone could trust around the league, that other players wouldn't mind playing underneath, knowing that they weren't going to be backstabbed or traded or not valued. Um, he's somebody that I feel like other general managers and teams would want to do deals with. Uh, and people would want to come and play for. And not so much for, he's not coach anymore, but play with. Almost like in that like Pat Riley type. Like I want to play with this guy because of the culture that's here with this organization. And so I think that Brad Stevens is a huge shift. But I want to actually go with another player. Um, my favorite thing about the Boston Celtics is Al Horford. Al Horford. He's one of the most selfless, team first, winning players that's been in the NBA for the longest. High character guy, um, great teammate, highly skilled, great playmaker, shooter, defender, on ball defender, and team defender. Remember, he's one of the few guys in the NBA that we've been able to look at and say, oh, he can hold his own against Embiid, Giannis, and other great bigs in the NBA by himself. And I mean by himself. He's like, hey, y'all give me basic help defense, but I got it. I got it. I know how to move my feet. I'm strong enough, crafty enough, I'm wise enough. I know what to do. Not only that, though, he's an amazing playmaker. And this is huge because one of the things that killed the Boston Celtics last year after Gordon Hayward left was a lack of ball movement. It was just, it was such like a hard to watch offense, almost like the New York Knicks. It was just hard to watch Boston's offense. It was like you go, then I go. You go, Jason Tatum, then I go, Jalen Brown. And just back and forth. And then Marcus Smart thinking that he's the third wheel and trying to chuck up shots. But this year, Brad Stevens is at the helm officially, putting together the team that he knows can win. And he's won at every stage, whether it was with Butler when he had Gordon Hayward in college, getting to the NCAA championship game, or whether it's with the Boston Celtics early on, as soon as he hit the ground running, boom, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals, Eastern Conference semifinals, Eastern Conference, playoffs every single year. He was right there. And even last year, he even shared that there was just a lot of weight that he was carrying from the whole COVID protocols and being in the bubble, just a lot. And he was like, yo, I think what's best for me is to care for myself. And I'm not ever going to get mad at that, especially when men do it, because we tend to have a tendency to be like, nah, I got to push through. But he was like, you know what? I'm going to step back from coaching, something I know that I'm great at. I know I'm one of the better coaches in the NBA. This is the biggest platform for basketball around the world. And he's saying, I'm going to take a step back, but I'm going to take a step back where I can position myself to still do what I love and be around the NBA and basketball, but make sure that I put together a team that's going to win. And so what does he do? He brings in probably one of the most coveted NBA assistant coaches who's been so good. Like this dude has been waiting for the right opportunity, not any opportunity, not a opportunity, the right opportunity. And that's head coach Ime Udoka. This young man has been under tutelage of Greg Popovich for years. Played for him, played in the NBA, and has been an assistant coach. And he moved around recently a couple places. I think he was in Brooklyn last year, but he was also with the Olympic team in previous years. And players raved about this dude. They were like, "Yo, this guy is dope. I would love to play for this guy." But he was waiting for the right opportunity. And when Brad Stevens decided to move up into the front office, he went out and got that guy. All right. And that's going to be the guy who's going to implement the system to really make sure that we maximize this roster. I said we, like I'm a Boston Celtics fan. I'm really not, but I like what they did. And so when you look at the rest of the roster, you got Marcus Smart. Of course, you got, Tatum, Brown, Horford, but then you also got my man Aaron Neesmith out of Vanderbilt. I'm actually really high on him. Now, I understand Brad Stevens. I'm talking a lot about Brad Stevens. Maybe he should have been the dude. That's my favorite thing. It might be. The energy's just coming to me. That might have been it. But let me just say, I can't fault Brad Stevens last season for saying I wanted Tyrese Halliburton over Aaron Neesmith. Now, I was big on Aaron Neesmith coming out of Vanderbilt. I'm still big on him now. I think he's got some big-time shooter potential. And if you saw him during the summer league, he showed some off the dribble stuff, step backs, and everything. And as well as he shot it as a rookie, I'm anticipating this young man is going to have a big sophomore campaign where he just lights it up. And I wouldn't be shocked if he actually takes Josh Richardson's spot in the starting lineup. Why? Because he's a dead-eye shooter. He's a dead-eye shooter who also plays tough defense. He hits the boards, moves well without the ball. He's the perfect guy to be sandwiched between Tatum and Brown when they're doing their thing off the dribble, and he's always wide open, spacing the floor, knocking down threes, allowing them to be able to get those assist numbers up and really spread the ball around. He's going to be perfect. And when you look at Al Horford, a center who can stretch the floor, that opens up everything. Now the only person who can't shoot is Marcus Smart. And he's decent enough. Don't be shocked if they move him because I feel like Marcus Smart and Brad Stevens is not the most compatible parent. Even though he's somewhat the heart of the team, I think if they were to move a Marcus Smart, they would still be able to balance things out with Al Horford in terms of leadership, a tough defensive mentality, and still being able to win games. But it depends upon how they start and what offers are out there. But then you got the bench. I love Peyton Pritchard. I think he's going to be real good. Seeing him come out of Oregon, seeing the steps that he's taken last year, proving himself as a rookie. And then you also got what he did in the summer league and apparently in the basketball circuit in these pro-ams. He dropped like 90-something points in a game. It's a bad white boy. I'm going to be honest with you. He's a bad white boy. He ain't flashy, but he'll give it to you. You know what I'm saying? He's not Jason Williams. But it'll give you a nice little Mike Bibby in, out, jumper, get to the rim, bucket. You know what I mean? That's the type of player he is. But he's also great with assists, highly efficient, knows where to be, great IQ, really nice piece. Now, the asset that I don't really understand is Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder has proven to be an amazing regular season point guard. Now, maybe if they're moving on from Marcus Smart, he might be somebody that they want to plug into the starting point guard role. Who knows? Or start Peyton Pritchard and then bring Dennis Schroeder off the bench. They got some insurance. They also got Chris Dunn, too. But I don't know how much longer he's going to be in the league because he don't really seem that confident on offense, even though he's a great defender. But I don't know about the Dennis Schroeder. He doesn't exactly scream team first. He was all about himself in L.A. Oh, I don't want to come off the bench, even though that would have been better for the team to run that pick and roll with Montrezl Harrell. But instead, he wants to start because he's a starter. That's who he is. You got LeBron running point. No, you a starter. Okay, Dennis Schroeder. Okay, well, we saw what happened when they needed you to look like a starter in the playoffs. You look like trash. That's how it looked. I'm just being honest. I don't want to be mean. I'm just being honest. That's why you went from an $84 million to a $4 million. Okay? You had a bad playoffs. It is what it is. Show me something different. But then you still got the rest of the squad out there. You got Jabari Parker. I'm always gonna have love for Jabari Parker. I felt bad about those injuries. He still got great scoring potential, great size, 6'8", 6'9", could play the small forward, power forward. And then Robert Williams. Robert Williams still learning the game. Horford is someone great to learn from. Um, but he's definitely a big man that can dominate the glass, definitely defend the rim at a high level. Great lob threat, great energy guy. And if he's getting like 20 something minutes a game, yo, that's perfect. And next to an older Al Horford, yo, the pairing is nice. Is nice. You got your wise vet and your up and coming young and big man. You know what I mean? Great combination. I love it. Um, so that's what I have about the Boston Celtics. Al Horford is the guy on the squad, but I got to show love to Brad Stevens. He's brought a lot of good things, and I think they're going to have a big year. A big year. Because when I see Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, you got two All-Stars. Two All-Stars. How many teams got two All-Stars? Legitimate All-Stars. You got to understand, last season was an aberration for a lot of teams. The Toronto Raptors was another team. Indiana Pacers, who didn't have TJ Warren. I'm going to get into them later. But last season was not indicative of who a lot of these teams are. I think Boston bounces back. I think they finish with a top 5 seed. I'm going somewhere around Miami, Brooklyn, not in any consecutive order, but Miami, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, maybe Philly, and for sure, Boston's right in there. Boston could be anywhere in that top 4 or 5. Anywhere. They could have the best record in the league. Who knows? Now, it might be a little bit much. But they can be a 2-3 seed for sure because they're going to win consistently. And they got guys who can close every game. So with that, that's my favorite thing about the Boston Celtics. Definitely like, subscribe, leave some comments. I also try to do videos based upon what you might recommend. I'm doing this series, my favorite thing about your favorite team in the NBA for this upcoming season. So throw your favorite team down there, and I'll try to make sure I throw it on there as well. All right, peace.